Okay, so it's Assata Israel here. And I'm here with another daily doce dose. And I just want to say, so Assata Israel means she who struggles to find balance with God. I have it on my page, but I just felt the urge to say it right now for those who watching this that don't know what the name means. But I do. I picked it and made it myself. But like, I'm just in a state of forgiveness and gratitude right now. Like, in order to forgive, you have to acknowledge where you've been hurt at. And once you realize where the pain is, then you can begin to forgive. Because now you've forgiven from a space of understanding and knowing. And it's like, for so long, I didn't acknowledge a lot of things. I tried to avoid it in a way so that I wouldn't have to face it. But it's like it began to stagnate my energy. And it's like just opinions. Holding on to other people's opinions and views on who you are and what you should do with your life. Like, I talk about it a lot, but it's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to shift your perspective about it. Like, because like we tend to talk about a lot of things, but it's like, how can you look at it from a different perspective? How can you deal with opinions and not get affected by it? And it's like, that's how you shift your perspective about the opinions, because like you're going to face constructive and destructive opinions, but it's all about how you release and accept things for what they are. Because in order to accept things for what they are, you have to understand it for what it is. And that comes with being aware of it. Then once all of that happened, then you can hold yourself accountable and release it. It's all a process, for sure. And it's like, that's something I really had to understand. Like, what is stop blaming other people, saying that they are the problem when it comes down to your brokenness, and realize that they are not the problem. You are, because although they did what they did to you, you allowed them to. So you allowed them into your bubble. You allowed them to stick a needle in your bubble and deflate it. That is not their fault. That is yours, because you didn't set the proper boundaries to allow that, to keep that from happening. Like, in the end, like, also, you aren't to blame for it, because at the end of the day, we don't know what we don't know. So we are not at fault for something that we didn't know. But once you know better, then it's time to do better. And that's what I've been learning, like accepting that for what it is. And it's like, you're not at fault for what you didn't know. But now, since you do know, what can you put in place to make sure that you don't keep going back and letting people poke holes in the bubble as you are trying to fix it? How can you seal up that hole and also create a barrier so that they won't even have access to you like that again? Because, like, I heard this man say it. The video keep coming across on my Facebook reels, but he said that God isn't going to keep them away from you. God is going to keep them in close proximity to you. And that is your test of faith. That is your ultimate test of faith. Can you effectively be yourself and keep your bubble inflated? Okay. Can you effectively keep your bubble inflated without allowing other people to come stick their needles in it? And that just brought me to something that we did at Central State University. I went there for 2 years. But the initiation into the school was it was very enlightening to me, because like now I understand it. Like, think about what I just said, right? So when we first started school, we had this candle, and we had to take it from the Robinson building all the way to the Sunken Garden. We had to walk there. But then it's people, it's alumni, and then it's also the upperclassmen. They are around us because we are the freshmen. We are the damn, what did they call us? We were pirates, and we were walking the walk to become marauders. So in order to become a marauder, you have to silence out the noise in the way of, and I say it in this way because it's like, basically it's a whole bunch of people around you, and you holding this flame, you holding a fire, you holding a candle, literally a candle, and you have to make it to the garden without letting other people blow out the fire. And then if your fire do go out, it's people in the crowd that has a lighter to light it for you. Then it's also, you can utilize the people around you. You can use their flame to light yours back up. But it's up to you to utilize those resources to make sure that you get to where you need to go. And it's like, that really just put it into perspective for me, because it's like, that simple task meant so much. I just didn't realize it at the time. And it's like, that's something that we can take in life, like being able to silence out the noise and know that what you are working on, what you are going towards, is more powerful than anything or anyone that's trying to get in your way to stop you. That's the reason why we go through obstacles, to test our faith. Like, I'm a firm believer in God. Like, yes, I call God the universe. Yes, I say God is our ancestors, because it's just those that are guiding our direction. It's an acronym. You can look at it as a person, but at the end of the day, no person is going to come save you. That's why I use it as an acronym, so that I remember those that are guiding our direction. Because I don't know who's guiding our direction, but I know that it's a lot of rooms I've been in that I didn't understand at the time. And I excelled beyond what I understood. And it's like that confidence, that level of awareness, all of that, I didn't know. Cause like we don't know what we don't know. I didn't know that room I was sitting in was that powerful. I didn't put myself in there. Yes, I took the necessary steps to get there, but physically, I'm gonna say spiritually, I didn't put myself there, because I didn't even understand it enough to know that it was of value to me. Like everything, I love the quote where it says, rejection is God's protection. Acceptance is God's blessing. So when you get accepted to something, that is God blessing you with something that you need. It may not be what you want, but it's what you need. Just like when you get rejected from something, you may not get what you want, but you're going to get what you need. And it's like, that's all. Like, that's how God works. That's how those that's guiding our direction, that's how they work. We may not understand it right there in that moment, but you give it some time and you go through the motions of the time, then you will find out what it is and what it's meant to be for you. And that's why I be telling myself this quote. Like, it's two of them. Every day we get a daily allowance of 24 hours. That is our chance to change and make better choices for ourselves. But it's up to us to use our discernment to distinguish what's for us and what's not. Who's for us and who's not. Like, not saying that the people that what's for us and who's not for us. Like, not to say that those things that's weighing heavy on you won't ever be for you, that's not relevant or anything. It's just not as efficient for you to progress to where you're going. You may not need all of that food right now, but if you get all that stuff that you putting on the pantry, that you got that well-stocked pantry that you have, you may not need all of that food this week, right? But eventually, when that food in the refrigerator run out, you got some meals. You got some meals on layaway waiting for you. Like, that's how you gotta look at it sometimes. Like, they waiting for you. They waiting for you to go see how abundant you truly are. And something else I've been telling myself, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Every day they show you who they are and what they in your life for. But it's up to you to use your discernment whether or not you want them in your life. And it's like, that's the lesson I had to really learn. Like, although I say these quotes to myself, now I have to physically use these as affirmations on a day-to-day basis. Yes, I say it to myself often, but not as often as I should in the moments in which I'm feeling this. Because it's like, you can say it after the fact when you spiraling. But in the midst of your spiral, before your spiral even start, say it. It's in your head, so say it. Because then you can catch yourself before you fall. Because there's nobody that's going to come throw a net down to make sure that you don't hurt yourself when you fall down. It, like, some people will. I'm not saying that it's nobody in this world that won't. Because that's why kids have parents. But what I'm saying is, this is your life. You are the director of your own life. You narrating this story. And then, like, all the people that you want to be around you, they can be. But at the end of the day, they are around you. So if you're not motivating yourself to do what you need to do, if you're not making yourself see things how it is, and you waiting for somebody else to open your eyes, then you will forever see only what other people see. You won't ever see what God wants you to see. Whew, come on now. I'm going to leave it at that. Peace and love.